You know, the first step to offshore fishing is really having confidence in your electronics. You're not gonna have confidence unless they're set up correctly. You can look at my screens here. This is down view. This is what I'm seeing, you know, below the boat, and this is side view. I'm not gonna cast anymore unless I see fish, unless I see structure. You're wasting your time, or I feel like that I am. You can see over here we have a lot of just isolated rock. This is just a big gravel flat with isolated rock. Right here we have a whole lot of bait, but you can see random. There's a good one, there's a good one. You know, it looks like there's one right there. They're just in that bait, you know, swimming with them. Whenever they get hungry, they eat. But what you're looking for is fish, structure. The combination of both of those is exactly what we want. I like to set down view up. Look here, contrast. You kind of got to play with that because contrast depends on your bottom. The softer the bottom, the higher you're going to have to run that so you get a sonar return. Brightness, you also want to play with that some. Those are really the only two options that I mess with on here. I keep my range and auto on this. I don't use zoom. Side view pretty much sets up the same way. I go 60 foot on each side of the boat. That's a pretty big swath whenever you're idling. I'm covering 120 feet at a time. You can catch fish on your live scope going down the bank, absolutely. But some of the places where a lot of these fish will school up or kind of hide is these underwater points. Like right there would be a great spot. Right here is another underwater deep point. All right, so on the bow of the boat, it's pretty easy to set up, but there are a few things that I like to do. You know, this transducer that I'm looking at here, the live scope transducer, is on the shaft of the motor. So this is my hunting transducer. You know, what I like to do is set it out about 75 feet, which is a decent cast out there. And I like to leave the bottom in a manual mode. I don't want it to be an auto where it's shifting, you know, and the whole screen's changing. I like to keep it, you know, a little bit deeper than I'm fishing, so it keeps everything pretty much in the middle of the screen. You can see right there on the ledge, you know, some of these fish right on the turn of it. Some of them are down low, you know, on the bottom. Those are the fish over the years that's been pretty easy to catch. Some of these fish that over the years have been hard to catch are the ones out here. You know, you hear the term, well, they're set up to feed, they're not set up to feed. Well, that's no longer the case because now we can see them and we can put a bait right in front of their face. I like to keep you play with the gain or sensitivity. Turn it way up. You can see it getting hot, and then just back it down until the screen is clear. Then I know I'm seeing everything. And you see you got a couple way out here at 60 that's up high, but the main school is right there around that turn rock. All of these right here are white bass. That right there is a school of bass. But as far as the adjustments that I make on my screen, that's pretty much it. Gain, your depth, your forward range. The only other one that I like to play with sometimes is color gain. Mine's set on 74. You can turn that way up, and what that does is it makes everything a little bit brighter. So if you're out there, you know, you throw your Sonar Minnow out there and you're having trouble seeing it, then you can turn that color gain really, really high, and it makes those hard objects pop. You can see all of the rock and the fish have gotten really white. I like to keep mine about 75. That's just kind of a happy medium. Everything's not crazy white, but also it makes everything show up really good. You know, the whole thing about this is that, you know, over the years we all thought that those fish live on the bottom and that's where they were catchable. Now with, you know, the front facing sonar, the Sonar Minnow, they can't hide anymore. I mean, what happens is, yeah, you may have 8 or 10 swimming around on the bottom, but you also have 8 or 10 that's over here, you know, random. And sometimes those are the big ones that you want to catch. And literally, I mean, I can't say it enough, they cannot hide with that and this, because I can throw it right to them, put it right on their nose, and then that happens.